Welcome everybody to month 9 of Morning Light in Tuckertown. We did it! It's our last month, and this month we'll be using two tools from Studio 180. We'll be using our Tucker trimmer and also the 4-patch square up, and we'll be making the teeniest, tiniest little 4 patches that will finish at 1 inch. Yes, that means each square will just be ½ an inch. We cut our strips, and you can see I have everything cut here. The strips are cut nice and wide, and I did that so that they'll be really oversized and easier to handle until we get down to the point of stitching our little 4 patches together. So in addition to the one block we're going to make for month 9, your pattern includes all the instructions you need to finish up your quilt top, and that will be put together in 4 sections. Everything's illustrated in your pattern, and I will be showing you the progress of mine in my other colorway. So I hope this project has been a lot of fun and you've fallen in love with all these basic, well, this isn't all the basic tools, but these particular basic tools from Studio 180, and I hope you feel free to Tuckerize all of your future products. So with all that being said, I have my cutting done, and let's get going. Happy stitching, everybody.
Okay, this month's block is pretty simple. We're going to just start by making half square triangles just like we always do, and trim them to 3 inches trimmed, and then stitch them together just like the pattern shows you, and we're going to spin the seams. So nothing new there. But what I wanted to talk to you a little bit about is making our 4 patches. So the pattern tells you to cut a width of fat quarter strips that are 1 3/4 inches wide. And so I just stitched them together with a 1/4 inch seam, just cut that strip in half. Then you're going to take those two parts and place them so that their opposite colors are toward each other. And I'm going to nest the seams just like that. And I want to really avoid using the selvage piece here, but there's enough here to trim off so that if you use a little bit of the selvage piece, that's okay. And you're going to be using every bit of this strip. So let's just see how I did here. And these are going to be cut into 1 3/4 inch segments, and we're going to be trimming down enough of these. So if you have to cut one a little bit shorter than 1 3/4 inches, it's not going to be the end of the world. So here I go. 1 3/4 inches, and we're going to need to cut 6 segments. Um, then we're going to take these little segments and we're going to go stitch down one side of them. Now here's a tip. When you stitch, always stitch, you can stitch on either this side or this side, but do all of them the same. So I'm going to go stitch and I'll be right back. Okay, I've stitched all of my little 4 patch segments together and pressed the seams, and I spun the seams so they're all spinning. Now, next thing we're going to do is use our 4 patch square up tool, and we used that tool in a prior month. And the only reason I even wanted to talk about it again is that I had you cut these strips much wider than they really needed to be to make these teeny tiny 4 patches. And the reason I did that was so that you had something more substantial to work with up until this point. But from now on, I'm sorry to say, well, it is what it is. We're making teeny tiny little units. And I want to show you where on the tool, so we get this paper here, on the tool where we're going to be. We're going to be looking for the 1 inch little bullseye here, and we're going to be trimming them down to 1.5 inches, just like that. So I'm going to show you how much you're cutting up. So you're not alarmed when you get there. You did nothing wrong. Yes, we're really trimming off this much. Okay, so you're going to put the bullseye right on the seam, and yeah, right on the seam there, and line up the little halfway marks right on the seam so that it's not all wonky and askew. And then you're going to trim and then rotate your unit, line up that bullseye again, and this time along the outside edges that you've already trimmed will line up right to the 1.5 inch marks, just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and trim all of those, and then we're going to sew these little babies together. Okay, we've got our little 4 patches all trimmed up to 1.5 inches each, and what we're going to be doing is making 2 little segments like this, and we just want a little checkerboard. And your pattern, it'll show one with the gray one up here and one with the blue one up here. Doesn't really matter. As long as you stitch them always on the same side, you will be able to make checkerboards. So here we go. Now, I know this is tiny, but it's so worth it. And you can brag to everybody about how everything just beautifully matches up. And we'll be stitching these together. When you have 2 of them, yes, it's tiny, but just nest those seams, stitch it together, um, and then stitch the next one on. I'm going to go do that, and I'm going to come back and show you what it looks like on the back side. It's really pretty impressive. So I'm going to go do that and be right back. Okay, guys, here they are. So these should measure, when you're done, they should measure 3.5 inches, but and they will, if your seam allowances were right. So there you go, 3.5 inches. So, okay, I want to just give you a little peek at the back side of this. And I know you are going to be amazed at your own, but when all those, when the 4 patches are stitched together, you can spin those seams and they'll spin in the opposite direction of the 4 patch seams. And this is what you'll end up with in the back. And my pressing was a little wonky here. Little 4 patch little strips done here, and I want you to lay them out, and that shows this in the pattern with your light square up in the upper left hand corner on this one, and in the dark one in the upper left hand corner there. And then you're going to stitch the B section to the top here and the A to the bottom, and then up here you're going to go the A to the top and the B to the bottom. So I'm going to go do that, and I'll be right back. All right, I've got those all stitched. I pressed away from the little 4 patches, got those all going, and now we're just going to stitch the C sections. Oh, that's clever, right? The little C parts onto the sides there, and I'm going to do that and press those toward the C and be right back. Okay, got those stitched on, got them pressed toward the little side sashings, and it's best to arrange them this way. So you'll have the little gray square up in the corner, upper right hand side, and this one in the bottom one in the dark one in the upper left hand side. That will mean that this will be B, and this is B down here. Your A's, the skinny ones, will be in the middle. So if they don't all land this way, not the end of the world, everything will still fit. So what we do next is just stitch here, press in toward this section, and that's it, guys. We are done with month 9. Stitch, stitch, press, press. Meet you at the design wall.
We'll start the assembly by making 4 sections. Section 1. Stitch 3A to 4A. Section 2, stitch in a row from left to right. 4B, 9, 2A, 5D, then 8B. Section 3. Start by making 2 rows. Row 1 from left to right, 6B, 7A, then 6A. Row 2 from left to right, 7B, 8A, and 7C. Then stitch the 2 rows together. Here we go, guys. Section 4. First thing we're going to do is stitch 5B to the right side of 5A. Then stitch 5C to the top. Next, stitch 2C to the bottom of 2B. Stitch these two parts together and then stitch 3B to the bottom. Last step, guys, stitch block 1 to the right side and you have completed section 4. Woohoo! It's finally time to stitch the sections together. First, stitch section 2 to the top of section 3. Then stitch section 1 to the left side of that. The last thing we need to do is stitch section 4 onto the bottom, and gang, we did it. Just add the borders to this quilt and it is a wrap. Keep your Studio 180 tools close by and remember to tuckerize whenever you can. Scan this UPC code with your camera to find out all about it. I'm looking forward to making my next morning light in Tuckertown. This time I'll be using Date Night from Moda. Watch for the collection, it'll be shipping soon. Don't forget to please post your pictures of your quilts and keep an eye out for pictures on my Instagram and Facebook page. Stay tuned for what's coming next for Mama Said So on my website. Happy stitching, everybody!